The next thing that makes science hard, he tells us, is that theories are never tested by themselves.
Yeah.
Right? He says, this is because we never test a theory by itself. Every experiment is really a test of an entire web of beliefs, a web including far more than just the theory. The sentence, if theory T is true, then we will get observation O contains a multitude of hidden complications, right? The antecedent to the conditional, so the if-then statement is a conditional statement. The antecedent to it, which is the if portion, the first portion, right? So the antecedent of the conditional statement, the if-then statement, is really a conjunction or a collection of assumptions, right? So if T and so-and-so, and so-and-so, and so-and-so, and so-and-so, then we'll get observation O, right? So that's what he means by a collection of assumptions. So it's not merely if theory T is true, we're really assuming something more like if T is true and we perform the experiment correctly, and so on and so forth. So this additional belief or condition is called auxiliary hypotheses. Yeah. So these are auxiliary hypotheses that we need to take into consideration when we're considering if theory T is true, then we'll make this observation. But we're not just saying if theory T is true. We're making all kinds of auxiliary hypotheses that are attached to the if portion of that conditional statement, right? That we need to take into consideration.
So there's nuance in our theory, and so when we allow people to make sweeping generalizations about a theory that we like, we always say, oh, no, well, there's more to it than that.
Right.
And so by people trying to generalize too broadly, let's take our theory, for example. God exists. Well, if God exists, then evil can't exist. Well, you're talking too broadly. Let's assume that God is able to use evil for his purposes. So that doesn't the presence of evil doesn't negate God, and so my theory of God existing can still stand even in the presence of evil.
Yeah, good. So he gives us an example of auxiliary hypotheses, and then he takes another step and he talks about background beliefs that are part of theories as well. So the example of auxiliary hypotheses, he says, if the sample in the beaker is ethanol, then the sample will boil at 78.5 degrees Celsius. So this is actually something closer to if the sample in the beaker, and here's the example he's given us. If the sample in the beaker is ethanol, and that the thermometer is working properly, and my glassware is clean, and the sample is not contaminated, and the air conditioning in the lab is normal, and so on, then the sample will boil at 78.5 degrees Celsius, right? So all those ands are considered auxiliary hypotheses that have to be taken into account, or at least we just assume are there with regard to this particular theory. So these are often hidden because we don't pay attention to these. We don't think about these, right?
Yeah, we don't disprove Newtonian mechanics incorrect by saying some scientists launched a probe at Mars and missed it by a factor of 170 million. We also say, what they should do is also use the same metrics. Yeah. So Celsius and Fahrenheit are two different things. Meters, kilometers, and miles, I would say, are miles in difference. So there's the assumption that if those things were to be held as constant, so utilizing one form of metrics, you would be able to hit Mars using just the way that we've been doing it since the old days.